You're listening to ELR, East London Radio, broadcasting from the community transmitter in the industrial estate near the Lee Navigation Channel by the Canal, East London. If you're looking for comfort this evening, then look no further. Join me here, your host Charlie Evans, and I'll be your friend in the darkness at the end of the world. I come to you tonight from a really bad place, people. I'm trying to keep my cool and my composure, but it's difficult. I'm absolutely terrified. I am safe right now on the top floor of my building. As I think I've mentioned, there are no windows on the first floor to the building, just two entrances, which I have heavily fortified. But tonight, I am a lot less safe than I was just an hour ago. For anyone who's listening, for anyone who has been listening, you'll remember last time I spoke to someone from the outside world was when the station got a call from Dennis Calfman, a Conservative MP who was held up in some kind of secure bunker beneath the City Hall here in Walthamstow in East London. He had been bitten, he was infected, and he mentioned that there was a temporary hold, an antivirus that could put a hold on the disease spreading through the human system. But perhaps more importantly, he also told me that we can't be stupid and we can't make mistakes because every move we make now is important and life-threatening. Well, I just made the biggest mistake of my life. I got too damned confident, too damned cocky. We should never take our safety for granted. I can imagine, for anyone out there listening, you can hear the sound of the zombie hordes there, just outside the gate, because now they're closer to the station, closer to me than ever before. You can hear them that loud because there isn't 20 or even 30 of them outside the main gates to the compound. Now there are maybe 200 or even more. I can't see for sure because it's getting dark, but there's definitely more out there than I can handle on my own. And the fact that there is that many here now, well, that's completely my doing, my mistake. I can't believe I was so stupid. Let me bring you up to speed. If you remember, I mentioned I might try to get some firecrackers. I made some Molotov cocktails and I had hatched a plan to try and lure some of those zombies away from the main gate. I took some of those Molotovs downstairs and I decided I would try and burn the few of them that there was so I could make a clearer path for me to scale the fence, so I could make it outside easier for supplies. Well, that was stupid. When it began to get dark, I snuck down there towards the main gate. I'm sorry, my throat's dry. Give me a second. Oh, that's better. When it began to get dark, I snuck out toward the main gate and threw one cocktail. A crowd of about 5 of those things. They were huddled together right by the fence. The sound they made, Jesus. They began moaning a horrible, high-pitched scream. It made me wince in terror and horror. They began to scatter quite fast. Just as I was about to throw another cocktail at the other group of those things, one of the scattering zombies headed towards the canal edge and fell into the water, and suddenly there was a massive explosion of flames. I can only speculate there must have been something flammable in the water. All I can say is thank God I hadn't drank any of that canal water yet. God knows what was in there. The flames spread so quickly, there was no way I could try to stop it, and in seconds, most of the canal, all the way up to the nearest lock, the nearest gate, was engulfed. What once made me feel safe, having the canal as a barrier between me and the dead, well, it's not like I've just rang the dinner bell for those things. Of course, fire meant more visibility, and as I turned to look out of the gate, all of those mutilated, moaning corpses were standing eerily still, looking directly at me, their dead eyes gleaming in the firelight. As you think a pack of hungry wolves might look at a deer. My blood ran cold. I am terrified. In horror, I ran for the door to the building. As I looked behind me, they were gathering around the main gate. What really shook my nerves was one of the horde was still in flames and was stood there with its burning fingers grasping at the chain-link fence, its dead eyes glaring at me, and the smell of burning flesh made me sick as I ran back towards the building. You never get used to the killing. I know that I'm not killing people anymore. I'm killing things, but my God, it's awful. It made me think about Cindy, Susie, and little Charlie, the kids. I mean, has somebody destroyed them too? I know it sounds ridiculous, but deep down inside, the fact that I thought they were walking around out there somewhere still. I don't know what I thought. But seeing that thing on fire and hearing those things screaming, I couldn't help but think of Cindy and the kids. Oh, God. Sorry, folks, sorry. The last thing you want to hear is me crying on the radio. Especially now. It's just hard, you know. Used to be. I wanted to help people with their problems here on the station. Now all you're doing is listening to mine. Well, sorry. I'll pull myself together. I will pull myself together. I have to remain calm. I have to remain rational. Okay. So where was I? So I managed to get back inside the building, and I figured once those flames had burned out, those things would start to disperse, but the flames grew higher and higher and are burning still now as I broadcast. The flames have attracted hundreds of those things from the surrounding area. There are also now more of them funneling into the back of the north entrance. Luckily, I had time to shoo up that entrance this morning. Once they get into that narrow channel that leads down to that doorway, it goes down, there's two walls. Once they get funneled in there, it's almost impossible to get rid of them. It takes hours, sometimes days, for them to naturally walk out of that bottleneck alleyway. Days, weeks of work just totally messed up because of one stupid mistake. On the flip side, I am safe from the flames here, I think. There's some distance between this building and the canal. I'd say 20 or 30 feet, maybe even 40 feet. And the walls of the canal are kind of containing the fire. But I'm worried about the perimeter fence. It's well made, it's old style chain link, and it's durable as hell. We had a Arctic lorry delivering goods here once to the station. They reversed right into it, trying to make a 3-point turn in the grounds, and it didn't make a dent. So I'm pretty sure it's going to hold. But when metal gets hot, it can bend and becomes unstable. We all know that. I'm just praying the fire will burn out before the metal begins to stress. And with hundreds of those things pushing onto it, oh God, I don't know what might happen. The one good thing in all of this is that godforsaken rain. Thank God for that rain. It's stopping the fire from spreading any further. Give me a sec. I need to calm down. I've got to calm down. I'm just gonna have myself a drink. Oh, okay. That's better. Right. Okay, I've got to think straight. What could I do? What could I do to try and get them away from the main gate? Wait. Just one goddamn minute. We've got a glowing light on the switchboard. That means there's a call coming in. This is Charlie Evans. You live on the air?
Hello, Charles. This is Dennis Calfman.
Oh, fantastic. Our brave conservative leader for East London hiding in his bunker. How are things in the political world today, Mr. Calfman? Have you helped destroy any more worlds this evening?
It seems you've forgotten your place, my lad. And it also seems that you've gotten yourself into a little bit of a predicament. And I see that you've been trying to boost your signal to get your broadcast out further afield and past the interference,
Yeah, so? My plate's a bit full at the minute, Calfman, to be playing games. Why did you call? I'm in the middle of a bit of a crisis here.
Since you boosted the signal, dear boy, we're not the only ones who have been monitoring your broadcast, Charles. You've gained more ears, so to speak.
Who else is there left to even be listening, Calfman?
That's not your concern at the moment. What I can tell you is that we are in a position where we can deploy aerial support. One pass and strike may solve your problems,
No, you can't drop a bomb, Calfman. The gate's the only thing keeping those abominations out. That'll be completely destroyed if you drop any explosives anywhere near me, anywhere near it, the front gate. Are you trying to kill me?
Well, don't you think collateral damage is acceptable during war times, Charles?
Not to me it isn't, Calfman, and this is my life and my safety that you're playing with here. I don't want your help. And by the way, I thought you'd be dead by now. How the hell are you still alive? You told me you didn't have long left last time I spoke to you on the call.
Miracles, dear boy. They happen. I am a little under the weather, but I do feel fighting fit. And I'm afraid to say, you don't have much say in the matter, Charles. Help is already en route.
Wait, listen to me. You can't. Calfman, you can't. Oh, man. Even at the end of the goddamn world, these power-hungry politicians are still playing with my life. I need to get out of here before that chopper or whatever it is gets here and drops a bomb. I'm gonna have to bail on everything I've set up here. Just a moment. There's another light. There's another light on the switchboard. Another incoming call from a different line. Hello, this is Charlie Evans. You're live on the air. Who is this?
You're thinking too big, Charlie?
What do you mean, thinking too big? Who is this? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great to hear another voice. It's great just to know that somebody else is alive, but what do you mean?
Listen up and listen fast. Before that chopper gets there, you'll need to lure those zombies away from the main gate. It's important that you keep the show going, Charlie. We all have our ears on, and we've all been listening. There's no way we can tell you how much your broadcast has meant to all of us.
Why the hell is everyone talking in riddles? If there's people out there, we need to regroup. Who are you? Do you have a place of safety?
I was a high-ranking officer, but we don't have time for pleasantries now. I'm high. On your right, you see the apartment blocks, the eads, the new builds.
Yeah, I can see them.
We've been listening and watching, Charlie. We weren't sure where your loyalties lay at first, but now we're pretty sure that you're one of us.
One of who?
No time, I'm afraid. Just know that Calfman, he's lying to you. There is no antivirus, no bunker at Town Hall. It's all a trap, Charlie. They need you for something. They're playing you like a fiddle.
Need me for what? Calfman is lying? Why would he lie? There's no one left to lie to.
Acknowledged. Helicopter inbound.
Did you hear that?
Yes, my god, yes, I can hear it.
The chopper is inbound. Okay, listen, here's what you need to do. You've been doing it wrong, Charlie. You don't destroy the dead. You need to distract them, mislead them. We found in our research that short, rhythmic bursts of sound are best. It confuses them. Something about the brain patterns and the way the virus fires, the way that it works and spreads around the body. The brain is the most sensitive zone, and especially the ears. They evolve rather quickly, but sound is their major weakness.
How do you know all this? Please tell me now.
Let's just say I've got a lot of friends who know what they're talking about. Get out of there now and make them believe something's moving away from the gate using the sound. And try to get them away from the canal. If that chopper hits the accelerant in the water, Charlie, you're done for.
The virus comes from the water? Was this developed by the military?
I can't go into it now. There's no time, Charlie. They know where you are. They've been pouring more of it into the water supply. It was designed to work that way. The water was the delivery system. About that distraction, Charlie, concentrate. High-pitched noise, a metal bar struck on concrete or metal. High-pitched bursts, reverberations. That's what you need now, boy, not explosions.
All I have in the booth with me are firecrackers.
Ah, well, it's not perfect, but it'll have to do. Do you have a metal container? Something you could put them inside to make a ringing noise when the crackers fire off?
I can't, I don't think I have any, Wait, I think I've got something. There's loads of cans, metal cans in the trash bin here and glass bottles. Would that work? I could toss it from the window, perhaps, on the north side and try to get them to move around the back of the building, get those zombies around the back of the estate, away from the fence, away from the gate.
It'll have to do. The soldier thinks on his feet. Move quickly. They're inbound. You've only got one chance now.
Okay, here goes. I'm lighting it now. Tossing it! It's working! I think it's working! Immediately, they started to move en masse. It looks like they're moving away from the gate, but the crackers landed closer to the back of the building than I'd hoped.
Get down, Charlie. Here they come. Charlie? Charlie, are you still there? Are you okay? Charlie?
Yeah, I'm okay. The window's broke. I'm covered in glass. Oh my god. Whoever you are, you've got to get going now. Get out of there now.
What is it, Charlie?
Get out of there, the chopper. They've turned around. They're heading towards the tower. Get inside now. Get somewhere down. Get down.
Okay, I will. Listen, before I go, ignore everything Calfman tells you. He's lying about everything. There's something they want from you, Charlie, but I don't know what it is. He's been working with the...
My god. We've lost the call. If whoever that was is still listening, thank you for saving my life. It's thanks to you that the front gate, my only protection between me and those things out there, is still standing. And I'm still here inside. I can see from the window that there was some major damage to the back of the building, possibly the north entrance. I'm gonna have to go down and check it out. One of the front windows is clearly broken and the wind and rain are howling in. I'm just gonna have to shore that up. Just give me a moment, people. That's better. Okay. Let me just get a drink and sit still here for a moment. So many questions, people. Who was that soldier? Ex-soldier? And what did he mean when he said we've been listening? What reasons would Calfman have to lie about an antivirus? What reasons would he have left to lie about anything? There's nothing left to gain now. There's nothing left for him to have power over or conquer. We are decimated here. We're spread out, weak, torn apart. We're dying, in fact. Just waiting for the end, living in hope that there may be something better than this situation, which is, to be fair, settling for less than life. This dire situation we are living in at the moment. We survived the outbreak. We survived the end of the world. But now the search for truth is more important than ever because it's all that I have left. In a world where the dead walk and the living still fight for power, the inmates are running the asylum. That seems crazy to me. It seems like crazy talk to everyone, to anyone who's listening, I guess. But then again, take away that zombie threat after the outbreak, and I guess we're in a similar situation to the way we were before the end of the world came along and added a little bit of spice to the mix. Now, we just fight each other from our fortified towers, from our underground bunkers. What am I caught in the middle of here? In a way, it's great to know that there's other people out there. But the flip side is we are still killing each other. And to this reporter, I guess that means some things never change. Well, and as if by magic on that note, we have another call on the switchboard. I'm almost hesitant to answer. You're on the air. This is Charlie Evans.
Hello, Charles. Calfman here.
Calfman, what just happened? What the heck is going on here?
Well, You're quite right, Charles. You are caught in the middle of something here, and your position is one of influence. That is why I decided to save your life.
You decided to save my life? You almost killed me, Calfman. The gate is still standing, yes, but it's barely still standing. It's damaged. I am dangling from a thread here. And from the blast at the back of the building, God knows if any of those things got inside. But seeing that, I guess this was your plan all along, right? What did that soldier mean when he said you're lying, Calfman? About the antivirus? About the bunker that you're sitting in now, your nest? Was he telling the truth?
Charles, you know I respect your intelligence, but I'll explain something to you that I think perhaps you haven't quite figured out yet. There is a war going on right now, Charles, in our beloved country.
I know that much, Calfman. I'm not totally stupid.
Listen to me, Charles. Not just a war between the living and the dead, but a war between the living, the patriots and the deserters. That man who you just spoke to, Charles, he was a deserter. A man that I trusted. We trained that man for a situation just like this, to take command when there was no one left to take action, when there was no one left to take command. And he turned his back on you, Charles. He turned his back on us.
That deserter didn't turn his back on me. He just saved my life, Calfman. If that bomb you had sent had landed 5 feet to the south, you'd be listening to dead air right now.
Maybe, Charles, maybe. But it didn't land there, and I'm not listening to dead air. In wartime, Charles, you must take chances. That is what High Command does. That is what we are doing. We are making decisions because there is no one else left to make decisions. So, quit your whining and get get with the program. You are far more lucky and far more involved in this situation than you care to believe, my lad.
I'm lucky? I'm covered in glass, Calfman. My only refuge is damaged. Why did you have to kill that man, that deserter, as you call him? He seems to be the only one who took any kind of action to help me tonight.
Listen, Charles, and listen carefully. If someone sells secrets, you cut them loose, Charles. They are excess weight, not to be trusted. If someone grabs your arm on a sinking ship, you cut off their hand to save yourself. A solid government never goes down with a sinking ship, do you hear me? They provide safety and a way out for the survivors. That is what government does. That is what my job is, Charles. There is always collateral damage. Always in wartime. I thought you were a smart man. You must understand this.
What I just saw was not collateral damage. That was murder, Calfman. Plain and simple. And I may not be a smart man, but I know that much. And I'm pretty sure I know a villain when I hear one on my show.
Well, what makes you think that that deserter is dead, Charles? Maybe that was just a warning. Did you think about that? You need to trust your own instincts now, man. I told you I was bitten, and I told you the truth. I sound better, and I am fighting fit. That much is true, but I am infected, and I will soon die. I have accepted my fate, Charles, but before I do die, I'm going to leave my mark on this scorched earth, this scorched city, this dead place that we call home, Charles. Because I will redeem this country from its sins, and I am going to help you do the same, whether you like it or not.
And we've lost him. Well, there you go, folks. You heard it here first. Our fearless government is going to help us whether we like it or not. Where does that leave us? Where does tonight leave me? I'm wounded, lagging behind. My safety is compromised. Perhaps I should leave the air. Is this show doing more harm than good? I think, in fact, I know I may have just got someone killed tonight. Someone who reached out to help me. Their death is on my hands. If I hadn't made that stupid mistake of thinking I could take on those monsters that were around the front gate, none of this would have happened. I keep hearing his voice, the deserter. There was a calm in it. He had a sense of certainty, he had knowledge, perhaps he knew how this would all end long before it did. I wonder who his friends were in high places. Just like Calfman said, he's gonna try and save my soul. Was that deserter trying to save his? What did he do? What was his part in all of this? The only thing I know for sure is that if I hadn't answered that call, he'd still be alive. If I'd cut him off sooner. If he hadn't hung on until the last second to try and help me, to inform me. If I'd just stayed quiet instead of running this moral talk show, things would have been different for all of us tonight. I guess every action has a consequence, every move has a counter-attack, every plan has a defense. But there's a version of this night where he is still alive. And I'm not sure if it's the version where I see nothing, or the one where I never turned the transmitter on in the first place. But I guess that's the part of life, isn't it, folks? The part of living, of surviving, that no one prepares us for. Not the fear that I felt tonight, or the insecurity of feeling like a pawn tonight in a much bigger game, but being held accountable for my actions. Every choice I've made feels crucial tonight. I'm not sure whether it falls on the good or the bad side of living. But what do you do if you never make a call in your life? If you never make a decision? If you stand by on the sidelines and watch the game, then you are just a spectator and nothing more. A passive member of society. Walking time is what that is. I've always believed in free speech, of saying what you believe in your heart. I've always believed in holding people accountable. I've always believed in knowledge as power, as reporting, as hosting a late-night talk show, as being something important, playing a part in making the world a safer, more transparent place where we can all share our misgivings, share our problems, and change the world with care, love, affection, understanding, and most importantly, listening to each other. That's why the radio has always been so important. Because when we listen, when we share our feelings, our hearts, our actions on the airwaves, we begin to understand why we all have a moral obligation to the next person to make their one shot at this crummy life the best that it possibly can be. But tonight, I feel like a hypocrite. I tell myself that soldier, that deserter, to use Calfman's term, made his own decisions. He stayed where he was on top of that tower. He spoke, he warned people. That matters right now. People need to be warned. They need a guiding light in the darkness. But what is my role in all of this mess? My voice. Put him on the map. Put him in harm's way and maybe got him killed. I'm hovering my hand right over the power switch as we speak. Should I just end it all? It will be easy. One click and there will be dead air. And the safety of nothingness, of silence, of obscurity. But I ask you, if I do make that click, then what? Do I sit here alone with the echoes of everything I wished I'd said? One thing I remember my grandfather taught me as a boy was never stand still. Movement is life. The moment you stop making decisions, the moment you become complacent, you sign your own death warrant. If you stand still, there are no ripples in the pond, no repercussions. That means no improvements for anyone. If you see injustice in the world, speak out. If someone treads on your toes, you say something, you do something about it. Never let the world make a fool of you, boy, he would say. Never let the world make a fool out of you, because that is how the villains win, how the bullies win. That is how they win every time, from your complacence. History has taught us this. A wiser person than myself once said, people who have been deceived for a long time may resist acknowledging the truth because at that point it becomes too difficult. To quote them precisely, they said, "We're no longer interested in finding out the truth. The bamboozle has captured us. It's simply too painful to acknowledge, even to ourselves, that we've been taken for fools. Once you give a charlatan power over you, you almost never get it back." If anyone is listening tonight, don't wait for the help we need. We need to regroup, find friendly voices on the airwaves. I'm friendly, I promise. I'm not sure how safe it is here anymore. And please don't assume your silence means safety. We need to find each other. If these monsters, both alive and dead, are going to take us out even now, there's no point in being erased quietly. We need to be the beacon in the darkness. We need to be the light that shines in the incomprehensible, monstrous face of humanity as it stands today. I'm gonna have to call it a night, folks. I think some of those things may have gotten inside the building. I can hear them moaning now. The north entrance was shored up, but heaven knows what that explosion did to the back of the building. I've got to go and check it out. I'm a little bit scared for my safety right now. I'll update you as soon as possible. Don't stay complacent. Don't stand in obscurity. Be a voice of reason. Be a friend. This is Charlie Evans, your friend at the end of the world, still broadcasting for as long as they let me. Good night, folks, and thanks for joining me here in the Boneyard.